This is the William Experiment Podcast. My name is William, a man with a microphone discussing things on Earth and beyond. Please remember to subscribe and like, it really helps out a lot. There's a lot of interesting and fascinating things on Earth and in the universe. One thing I found interesting on Earth is something that was invented in America, and that is rock and roll music. Now, the phrase rock and roll was first coined by a man named Alan Freed, a Cleveland disc jockey in the 1950s. Back then, a study showed that if boys listened to rock and roll, they had higher levels of recklessness, behavior, getting into trouble, going against authority. And if girls listened to rock and roll, they had low self-esteem. It was crazy times back then. Parents didn't understand what rock and roll. It was a new form of music that came along, kind of slapped everybody in the face, And if you think about it, it really changed a lot of the ways society formed. Free thinking, rebellion, standing up for what you believe in, who you are, I know rock and roll changed my life. And I have to say, Gene Simmons is quoted, Gene Simmons from the band Kiss is quoted as saying, rock is dead. I could say, fuck you, Gene Simmons. That's a disrespect to all rock musicians and all rock bands. The way people get their music has changed doesn't mean that rock and roll is dead, man. Rock and roll will live forever. Trust me on that. Here in America, it may be the bottom of the barrel, but in other parts of the world, it's a very dominant genre of music. In the 1950s, we had people like Fats Domino, Little Richard, Bo Diddley, Buddy Holly, Bill Haley. In the 1960s, we had the Beatles, the Doors, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones. The 70s, we had Judas Priest, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, the Eagles. The 80s, we had Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Def Leppard. In the 90s, we had Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Soundgarden. In the 2000s, we have bands like Nickelback, Linkin Park, the Foo Fighters. I mean, rock is still alive, and rock matters to a lot of people. Back in the 80s, there was a show called Beavis and Butthead. It was a cartoon show that MTV played, and it was just about two stoner dudes sitting around trying to be cool. And that show could have made your band or broke your band. Yeah, look at the band Winger. They were destroyed on that show. I remember during the time of Beavis and Butthead, I was drinking a lot of 40 ounces, just kind of drifting through life and hanging out, trying to be cool, trying to get laid, not really having a direction or anything, just thinking I was the shit and living my own life. God, I was so stupid back then. I want to take a moment and talk about guitar players and the musical instrument guitar. I've been playing guitar for 35 years. It's a big part of my life. I'm no Eddie Van Halen by far, but I do have fun when I play, and it's honest. The guitar will always be with me. There's been some great guitar players. Robbie Krieger of the Doors. Ozzy Osbourne had his slew of guitar players. Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, Zakk Wylde. Of course, there's the guy Steve Vai. He's just a guru of a guitar player. And of course, Eddie Van Halen. He changed everybody's outlook on guitar. You have Slash. He's in his own world too now. One of my favorite styles of guitar is Ibanez. I've played Stratocaster, I've played Gibson, but Ibanez feels like a perfect fit, like a glove or a warm blanket. I'm currently building my own Ibanez guitar, or Ibanez style gem guitar with the monkey grip. I bought the kit. I have everything with it. I just have to paint the body and put it all together. The reason I'm doing that is because it's just more personal with me. The guitar's been with me basically my whole life. I look at it like someone who rides a motorcycle and builds their own bike. It's just more personal that way for me. I used to play in bands, do all that crazy stuff, but now I just play for me and the connection with the music and the song. That's what it's about for me. Rock and roll music will kick you in the teeth and take your girlfriend. So yeah, rock isn't dead. So don't let anybody tell you different just because, it's not dominating the charts or, rock bands aren't going platinum like they used to. Doesn't mean that rock is dead, because it's not. Rock and roll will live forever. As long as there is a kid in his bedroom with his guitar, rock and roll will live. But the power of music alone has changed the world, changed the way people live and think. And as a musician, I am very humbled and honored that I have the ability to play not just the guitar, but I bass and other instruments. The power of music is a beautiful thing, very underrated. I'm not talking about sales, I'm not talking about streams or likes or anything like that, nothing like that. I'm talking about the power behind music, how it makes you feel inside, what it does to you, what it does to other people. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful thing, beautiful way to communicate, beautiful way to come together. I've seen concert footage where, like at a Metallica show, I mean, Metallica's fucking a heavy band, and I look out in the crowd and there's just like a sea of people with different flags from the country that they're from, Australia, Russia, Germany, Europe. All these people come together for the power of music, and that is a beautiful thing. I will leave you on that note and say that rock and roll is alive and it will live forever. This is the William Experiment Podcast. My name is William. I'm just a man with a microphone discussing things on Earth and beyond. Please subscribe and like and follow. It really helps out. It helps bring sponsors in so I can keep bringing in more kick-ass content for you folks. Thank you again for listening. This is the William Experiment Podcast.